Welcome back, everyone, to week 5 of my series on classroom management. This video is actually a continuation of last week's video, which was running long. So if you're finding this one first, you might want to pause and go back. There's a link below for last week's episode, which is part 1 of this presentation. So when we left off, we were talking about relevancy, and there's some great tips back at the end of week 4's video. So go grab that one if you haven't. Okay, up next for conquering being boring in class and making things more interesting. My rule of thumb is to try to switch up activities every 20 minutes or so. Now, I'm not all like stopwatch about it. I have a wiggle room, but my classes are about 55 minutes. So I try to have 3 different zones or 3 different pockets of things that we're doing in class each day. And that might be starting with a bell ringer, which takes maybe 10 to 12 minutes. Then maybe I'm giving like brief bio, background information about the writer, like Jonathan Edwards, like I was talking about last week. And we do sort of the, quick write, talk, bio, and that heavy metal lyrics game that I was talking about last week. Maybe that takes 25 minutes. And then the last zone would be digging into the actual sermon in teams of 2. And that would be a full hour. I know when I'm sitting at professional development, at the 20-minute mark, I'm starting to get antsy. I want to do something different, even if I just have to get up and stand up and go to the back of the room and stretch. So the kids feel the same thing. We have sort of a short attention span society. I'm definitely guilty of it as well. So I try to remember that. It's really, really hard to sit for extended periods of time. So I try to switch it up just to keep things interesting for the kids. Okay, another way to alleviate boredom and engage the kids right from the beginning of class is have a dynamic bell ringer. So if the kids come in and they're talking and they're having a hard time focusing and giving you attention to get started, if you have the slide material already projected as the kids are coming into the room, you can train them to sit down and they start writing the slide content before the tardy bell even rings. And then once that first bell rings, like I go. So there's no time for a lot of shenanigans at the beginning of the hour and trying to calm everybody down. You get going because the kids know that you're going to use every minute of that class period. Whenever possible, I like to give a menu of options. If we're doing a big project, I might have 3 different ways kids can demonstrate mastery of that standard for me. And then I also usually put a 4th option, which is hey, you got an idea? Come see me. Because sometimes the kids have great ideas that I hadn't thought of that are good ways for them to demonstrate, competency of what I'm asking them to do. And I try to say yes to those ideas way more often than no. I'd say 9 times out of 10, I say yes. I have to have a really good reason why I say no to a kid's request, because I figure if the kid's making a request, he or she will be far more interested in doing it their way, and I'll get better results and the kid will have a richer experience. So last week, I guess 2 weeks ago, I launched 20 Time with my freshmen, and it's always been a solo project because I really believe that you and your best friend don't share the same passion for the same project. So it's always been solo until 2 weeks ago, 2 of my freshman boys in 3rd period came up and they asked if they could do a team project because they each wanted to script a parody of Lord of the Rings. So they're going to script it, they want to film it, and they want to score it. One is a guitar player and one is a piano player, and they wanted to create this whole project and they wanted to do it together with them and some of their friends as backup actors and support. And their cheeks were so shiny and their faces were so earnest when they came to give me their request. How could I say no? Of course I said yes. So for the first time ever, I'm going to let a team of 2 take on 20 Time and we'll see how they do. Will they be able to get all of that stuff done in 12 weeks? I seriously doubt it. But they're going to really try and have a good time learning a lot of things along the way. One of the boys actually leapt for joy, like his feet left the ground and he jumped up. He was so happy and excited that I said yes. So I want to be about that kind of excitement with kids in my classroom. And so I try to keep that spirit of yes in most things that I do. This next piece of advice is more for the new folks, because us veterans, we know you got to overplan. Those kids will move through content much more quickly than you think. And there's always that one class that seems to be like 10 or 15 minutes ahead of all my other classes. So the solution is to overplan, because the last thing you want, new teachers, listen up, the last thing you want is dead air. Dead air is that horrible time when you have run out of things to teach and you still have 15 minutes left in the class. Dead air is a discipline nightmare, because kids who are not engaged in busy work will create nonsense and drama and stress for you. So instead of giving myself a migraine, listening to and trying to deal with their problems and that they create for me and them, I keep them super busy. So on my website, you can find lots of ideas. In my Teachers Pay Teachers shop for free, you can grab things like word addiction and just give the word. You print those things off and you have a stack of them there for that crazy day when things go awry. And you just throw that game at them and they're active and they're learning and they're working the whole time. And you can keep the aspirin in your drawer instead of having to pop a couple pills for that 6-period freshman class. Why are freshmen, the last period of the day, always so bananas? So overplan and you'll be so happy you did. Okay, so that's sort of the global idea. Last little chunk here and then we'll be done for this week. So you really need to find a mentor. You need to find people who are a little bit further down the path than you are, who can give you some wisdom, either just, a shoulder to cry on, some chocolate that they keep on hand, or most important, great curriculum that works for them. So I've been really blessed by having wonderful mentors in my career. And what they've done is opened up their hearts and their filing cabinets to me and given me lots of ideas and shared things that then I take ideas and I tweak and spin to make work with my classroom and my personality. I would encourage you to always say yes to any offer of help that anyone on your staff gives you. Even if you don't think the stuff that they use is going to be a good fit for you, still smile and be super grateful and take it. Because here's what's going to happen. There's 2 things I found happen. One is, in digging through them, you might find some little nuggets, some jewels that really do work for you, that you can sort of make your own. And the other thing is, if you say yes, even if you don't use the stuff and you just set it aside or pitch it and recycle it, but if you say yes, then that keeps that artery of lifeblood of ideas and encouragement flowing towards you. But if you say, oh, no, that's good, I have everything I need for Julius Caesar, or no, I'm good, I think I've got a good thing for that, then it closes off that communication line. And suddenly that teacher feels like you don't really want their stuff, or you're fine, you don't need that. And they don't want to, be, overbearing with it. So they might kind of close down that channel, and you never want to do that. So I definitely always say, yes, that's great. Show me what you got. Yeah, let's talk ideas. That's one of the fun parts, is collaborating and coming up with good ideas. And I certainly love sharing them. Most of my mentors have now retired. And it seems like I'm sort of the elder stateswoman of the English department these days. So I don't mind being on the other side of the mentor desk these days. But I did enjoy my time with those friends. What if you are the only English teacher on your staff? Like maybe you're at a small school, or maybe you just don't like the other English teachers on your staff. Some departments can be pretty toxic. So let's say you can't find anyone that you click with, or nobody's willing to share. Well, I have a resource that you might not have thought of to actually find help and commiseration. The Teachers Pay Teachers website is certainly a website where you can buy lesson plans and download freebies and all that kind of stuff. But if you sign up for a free seller's account, you actually have access to this robust community of educators who help each other out on all sorts of issues. So when you sign up at the website, look for that little icon and that seller's forum. You don't ever have to sell anything there, although you totally could. But even just signing up for the free seller account gets you access to the forum. And yeah, people are on there talking about how to sell online curriculum, but they're also talking about how to deal with that incredibly difficult parent. Or does anybody have anything good for teaching comma splices? I mean, there's like lots of really great chatter happening in those forums. So for me, that's been a really like a gold mine of ideas. And just like, it's a virtual teachers lounge where people are really positive instead of negative. And we need that. We need our people behind behind us to get through some of these days. And if you still don't want to do that, you still can't find anyone, hey, you know where to find me. Come on over to my website. I'm building a nice little community over there, a soft place to land for English teachers. Shoot me an email. Let me know what's on your mind, and I'll certainly do my best to help out. All right, that's it for week 5 of Classroom Management. Stay tuned. I'll be back again next week for episode 6. You guys have a great week. See you soon. Bye.